Howdy, I'm Ronbo for AmericanFirearms.org, where we've got more articles and reviewers than a clown has bad jokes. Did I just call myself a clown? Hey, I've got a review today of the KelTec CP33. This is the gun to have for competition. And you may not think so, but it is a neat little gun. It's got its quirks, it's different, but I like it. I'll show it's clear, the bolt's locked open. We'll lock it back open. Nothing up the magazine tube. This gun is huge, it's blocky when you look at it. But holding it, it's not bad. It feels kind of good. I like it. It's light, 1.5 pounds, despite its size, is amazing. Compared to Ruger 2245, it's 1 pound lighter. The pistol is 11 inches long. That's humongous. It extends beyond the grip and forward quite a ways. The top of the gun is a Picatinny rail, 8 inches long. My gosh, 8 inches, you could do a lot with that. The underside has M-lock slots, which allow you to put a laser, a high-intensity flashlight, whatever you like. And check out that muzzle on that 5.5-inch barrel. It's threaded, and I'll come back to that later too. Sights, basic sights are fiber optic rear, fiber optic front. They are adequate, let's say. Since rather than put on my specific hollow sight or a red dot or scope, all those things are possible. I shot this in testing with just iron sights. I think that's fair. Let's take a look at the controls. On the right side is the safety, which is ambidextrous. So I'm working it from the left side, up and down, safety. Nice red dot there that you can see, so you know when you're unsafe or not. I like the ejection port. It's quite large. One of the problems with jamming, a .22 pistol or rifle can jam, semi-auto anyway, by an empty nut coming out. So I think KelTec's taken care of that. I'm going to flip it over. This side also shows the ambidextrous safety to good view. And the bolt lock is this little button here. I'm right-handed, so I can barely reach that bolt lock. By pulling it down with some force, the bolt comes forward, and it's used to lock in place as well. So what I'm getting at, I think, is that the best way to release this bolt is with the bolt release in the rear. Pull it back all the way and release. That will securely put a round in the chamber. Balance, it feels rather good. It might be just a tad muzzle heavy, I suppose you'd say. But if you've got big hands, you'll fit right into this gun, I think. And remember, this isn't a target pistol, it's a competition pistol. It's meant for shooting steel, let's say. Or potentially, if you're not a competitor, maybe hunting, or just shooting pop cans, of course. It's a moderately priced gun. MSRP is about $500. It's not too awful bad for what you get. What do you get? Of course, the pistol. KelTec includes a nice case that holds everything, and everything is the pistol, and 2 quad-stacked magazines. What's a quad-stacked magazine? Well, you're looking at 2 of them. This is how they come. Notice they're clear polymer, so at any point you can see how many rounds you have in the magazine, and they each hold 33 rounds. Stop and think about that. If you're carrying these 2 magazines, one in the gun, one in your pocket, you've got 33 and 33, that's 66 rounds? Holy cow, without having to tap into a box of ammo? No way. This can't work. It works. Sometimes. We're going to talk about that too. Quad stack magazine just looks kind of conventional from this side, but when you compare the 2, you'll see there are 2 staggered columns of .22 ammo, quad stacked. They feed singly to the top where they go into the gun. Now, you can take practically any pistol, buy an aftermarket magazine, stick it in the gun, and it'll hang out the bottom about 3 feet. Not with the KelTec CP33. It's flush. That's 33 rounds ready to go. So the advantage, if you're shooting competition, is you don't have to change magazines. Changing magazines costs time. Frequently, time is your enemy in a competition where you're shooting steel and knocking over plates. Customizability. You can add virtually any sight to the top of this gun, anything that an M-lock fits on the bottom. And this is my gun, so I decided that I didn't like the 6-pound trigger pull. Nothing wrong with it, but there are companies such as M-Carbo that make a trigger kit. So I've incorporated that in this gun. Now, you can hire or send the gun to M-Carbo in Florida to have the trigger installed if you're not good at it, or you can do it yourself. I did it myself, took it apart. There's a good video online at M-Carbo that'll teach you to do it. So the difference being, this trigger is an aluminum trigger and rather flat. It breaks at 3.5 pounds, so I cut my trigger down almost half by installing that trigger. Also installed a aluminum magazine release on the bottom. Nice touch while I had the gun apart. And if you don't do anything, check out M-Carbo's textured grips. Those are really nice. It really feels good. It's like skateboard tape, but it's customized to fit the CP22. Very nice accessory. The muzzle protector comes off to expose the thread. And I just happen to have a Cascade by Tactical Solutions that is a 22 suppressor. So when I go to the range, I can attach this like so. Of course, this is all registered, and you can find out about registering a suppressor separately. It adds just a bit of length to the gun, but very little weight, only a few ounces. And if you'll notice across the top, regardless of what type of sight you have, the irons or an optical sight of your choice, you won't see the suppressor. But believe me, it makes a huge difference in sound and suppressing sound. So I can actually shoot this. I don't recommend it, but I can shoot this without any hearing protection at all, especially with standard velocity that moves at about 1,000, 1,100 feet per second. So there's not much crack to it. The suppressor just makes it so much more pleasant to shoot. I don't think it affects accuracy much, but it is very quiet, very nice. This is a KelTec speed loader. The speed loader allows you to load this magazine much more quickly than simply pushing them in on the top. You can do that for 33 rounds, and they must be quad stacked at an angle, as you see. It can be difficult when you're doing it by hand, but I'll demonstrate quickly with my Remington Thunderbolts, just a few here. The magazine is inserted in the speed loader. A round is dropped in and pushed in, click. Click, click, and click, click. 33 times. You can see how they load perfectly. This is so fast and so easy. You almost have to have one of these. I hate to tell you to do anything, but this is $35 from KelTec. Spare magazines are $51 from KelTec, but you get 2. Now, you think you might break one of these? Well, okay, $51 if it's your fault. But if it's KelTec's fault, they have a warranty that can't be beat, I think. I noticed that after I kept this magazine loaded, 33 rounds full for a year, the magazine developed a crack in the rear, which did not affect the gun shooting. It still kept on firing. However, it was broken. So I sent a picture to KelTec, and I believe I sent them the magazines. I'm not sure. I think I did. Yeah, I returned the magazines to them. This was a year ago. They sent me these 2 brand new magazines. So good job, KelTec. So there's over $100 in free magazines from them. Hey, they broke. It wasn't my fault that I kept them loaded. So what I do is keep these unloaded for now. I use this gun for competition. It's not a self-defense gun. Holsters are available if you shoot competition and you need one. Check out C&G Holsters C&G Holsters makes a nice holster for this gun. And let's take a quick look at the ammo that we'll be testing, just briefly. I spent a lot of money on ammo. You can see Thunderbolts by Remington, Remington Golden Bullets. These are just bulk pack ammo. Had some mini mags that we tested. These are solids. And finally, I shoot in competition, so my Norm Attack is actually my rifle cartridge ammo. So use that as well. I found that the jacketed bullets, such as the mini mags, tend to jam and not feed through the magazine, as well as the Thunderbolts, which are lead bullets. The lead has a bit of lubrication on it, and it's especially noticeable on the TAC 22 ammo. These are highly lubricated. These feed through the magazine much better. Now, you don't have to buy Norm Attack ammo, but you should look for ammo that's lead and lubricated. Probably stay away from the Golden Bullets. They tend to drag through the magazine. So here's some Golden Bullets. And if you look closely, and you'll see this in the video later, they don't feed to the top. That's a half full magazine and they just stop feeding. So that's going to jam the gun up. However, when I loaded the same number of the Norm Attack, which is just a lubricated lead bullet, they fed just great. I think it's time to go to the range and do some shooting. So I'll meet you out there next at our special spot in Arizona and get some sunshine. See you in a bit. So, got a target down range, approximate size of a gong, steel gong, and I'll load the CP33 by loading the magazine straight up. Release is right here, so to release the magazine, pull it straight out. Best way to load the CP33, I think, is to pull the cocking handle back and release. That gives it a good jump start and puts that first round in place. Safety, remember, is ambidextrous. There we go. It's off safe. And we'll put it on my super accurate rest here for the most precise target image we can get. And do a nice squeeze here. Nice trigger, very smooth for what it is. It's not a target pistol or rifle, but it's a competition pistol. All right, let's talk about accuracy after we've been doing some shooting. I shot several targets. They all had 5.5 inch black bulls at 25 yards. This would simulate shooting a plate rack. So, Federal Value Pack, just throw it together, bulk ammo, 25 yards, shot 2.5 inches. Remington Thunderbolt, also 2.5 inches at 25 yards. The Remington Golden Bullet, same thing, just about 2.5 inches. CCI Mini Mags, probably closer to 3 inches. They were high velocity, something about them that the gun didn't quite like. A little bit bigger group. Now, Norm Attack, I expected better from Norm Attack because it's target ammo, right? Shot about 2 inches, roughly, at 25 yards. So it was okay, nothing great about it. So, in summary, the 25-yard test didn't really show any particular ammo to be more accurate than any other. The Norm Attack maybe had a slight edge, but not a great deal different. The big difference that I noticed is in functioning. Functioning is everything in a competition steel match, and certain ammo functioned better. Now, here are its strengths, I think. The fit and finish of this gun is quite good. Firing is very smooth. I can't demonstrate here in my house because I like my walls and windows the way they are. But you saw what it was like on the range. It's very smooth, especially with the trigger I've installed. It does not jump. It's very recoilless gun, I guess you would say. Fit and finish are good. By the way, to take the gun apart, which I'm not going to do now, there is a pin right here. You knock this pin out with a drift punch, and the upper receiver separates from the lower. It then allows you to retract the bolt and clean the firearm. Very easy to do, put back together, no sweat. High capacity 2 magazines are given to you with the gun, so quite a value, I think, and a lot of firepower right there. Now, as for controls, I don't like the bolt release. I mean, it works, but it takes a lot of force and it's small. It's somewhat difficult to release the bolt that way. And you have more of a snapping action by pulling the bolt back with the bolt release and letting it go. It loads that first round much more reliably. Detriment also is the cost of these magazines. Now, if your dog eats one, you're out $52, 51, $52. So don't let that happen. Here's another $35 that you should spend, in my opinion. It's well worth the money. So a little bit of money spent, worth it. Of course, it comes with rudimentary sights. They're not bad if you're young and you've got good eyes, but I typically shoot this with a optical sight. So it depends on how you look at it, I guess. That can be a detriment by not having an optical sight, but you can't have everything, and everybody doesn't want the same kind of sight. And for reliability, let's do a mag dump. I like doing that in Arizona. Failures to feed, yeah, that can happen. You saw it. But remember, it was the ammo. When I used different ammo, this problem was solved. It will fire 33 rounds without stopping, and it's a little bit of firepower in your hand. It can go and go and go. Summing it up, it's well made. Ergonomics aren't bad once you get used to it. There are plenty of accessories for this gun, such as holsters, suppressors, sights, you name it. And I think it will work with the right ammo, as any .22 is picky with ammo. This will work with the right ammo and be very reliable. So check it out at your local gun store. Once you feel it, you'll decide if it's for you or not. You can decide whether I'm a clown or not. Thanks for watching today at AmericanFirearms.org. Check out all the reviews there. Have a good one.